All right, we're back to regular movies, normal horror movies, horror, sci-fi.
This is
Follow,
thriller.
follow along. Be our companion on this next one. Yeah,
I love that logo. I don't know about you guys, but
we did it. We made it.
we
made it.
are here.
Okay.
And so it begins. Welcome everybody to another episode of Midnight Movie Distillery. I'm one of your hosts, Logan Lynch.
I'm another one of your hosts, Warwick Price.
And I'm another one of your hosts, Lon Black. Thank God we're back to horror movies.
Yes,
I mean,
yes,
I
we
shouldn't
are.
say, but the other ones were horrible.
Well, it's odd, right?
Yeah.
It's like I don't think this is a true horror movie.
Agreed.
Where the other ones technically probably were true horror movies,
Yeah.
but the other ones weren't necessarily very good.
Well, wait,
Oh,
we watched the
very lead on
we
this
watched the one that was where there's a post-apocalyptic, landscape haunted by spirits and
No, that's
guilt-stricken.
that's the 2001.
Oh, that's the
2021
2021 version. Well, I might
Well,
not have
it is
an
actually
opinion on this
Good
one.
Okay.
try. Good try.
Let's tell it. 2025 Companion is the movie that,
Oh, I saw that
we
one.
watched.
Well, good.
That's not the one that you watched. Hopefully, we'll have a totally different review. Yeah, so the one with Sophie Hatcher,
Thatcher.
Sophie or
So,
Sophia?
Sophie Thatcher.
Thatcher. I said Hatcher.
Margaret
Thatcher.
Thatcher on a cold winter's day.
Yes.
You did.
Do we have a synopsis on this?
Well,
so
we can
good at-
I have
basically-
one ready if you're ready
Oh,
for
go
it.
ahead. Sure.
All right, it is a weekend getaway with friends at a remote cabin turns into chaos after it's revealed that one of the guests is not what they seem.
Okay.
And this son of a bitch leads right into AI.
Yes.
Where AI is a hot thing right now, and this movie is all about that.
And it's funny because I saw the trailer months ago. I'm sure like anyone else did, and I was like, wow, I was intrigued. I really like Sophie Thatcher. It's like the Heretic review we
Heretic,
did, just
right.
really kind of show me, just reinforce the fact that I think she's awesome. And when I watched the trailer the first time, I was like, I didn't really pick up on like even the name, like and the
Oh, the image itself?
right.
Yeah,
Well,
me neither. Me neither.
And it was, but
The image itself. What do you mean?
The main
the still
picture.
image. So the still image.
Look at her eyes.
that you normally get.
That gives away what.
Right.
Going
Yeah,
on. I
totally
got
did
you. I
not
got
pick up
you.
on that. I'm glad I knew nothing about this
Yeah.
film going in.
Oh, really?
I agree. Only that
okay,
it
makes
got
sense.
really good reviews.
I didn't even know that. I just
Yeah.
was going based off of what you guys said. I'm like, all right. That's why I double checked with you
Yeah,
guys. I'm
yeah.
like, is this a 2021 version? Because
Yeah.
the 2021 version is an actual horror movie. This is more sci-fi thriller.
Absolutely
Yes.
more.
But I do
sci-fi
think
thriller.
it's weird. I mean, almost like the legalese of like copyright. This is Companion. It's not like The Companion.
Correct.
Where
This
the other
is
one
just
was
Companion.
Companion.
No, this is just companion.
Well, the other one was Companion as well.
Yeah,
Well, that's
they were
not
both
the
companion.
So
No,
which
neither
one
one
is
of
No,
them
the
is
no.
companion.
What,
They're
what,
both
I'm, what I'm
companion.
saying is, it's like, how do they get away with just calling it a movie, the same name as a movie that happened?
I think it's because it's
4 years
different.
ago.
It's kind of like the whole thing where like
Yeah.
you could say, Popeye, and then have the guy pop out the guy's eyes, and that's why it's called Popeye.
Anyway, before we talk about the movie, as you
That's
guys
rated.
all know, we
Oh,
Oh yeah, yeah.
we do something
No, you're
else.
getting-
The most important part of what we do.
go to the bathroom.
I'm a little thirsty here.
We drink
Oh,
fucking whiskey.
Fucking whiskey.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
That's just crazy.
And hopefully
Happy Easter.
with the logic behind the last one being the fact that these were crappy movies, and therefore let's have a crappy Irish whiskey. What do we have today, Lon?
So this is a whiskey I've purchased a long time ago.
Okay.
I will relieve you to know that it is actually a bourbon.
Okay.
Okay, see already they're happy.
Yeah.
Little chub.
And
Getting
this
harder.
was so everybody knows that I like watching Whiskey Tribe.
Yep.
They do a lot of whiskey reviews, and they did this one thing many years ago. Every once in a while, they do this one thing where they each, the two main guys, now one of them's not there anymore, but the two main guys used to do their favorite bourbon of the year. Because it always
Okay.
changes. Like the next year, there's a different bourbon that's their favorite, or a different whiskey. Or
Well,
whatever.
hence of the year.
Correct, right? Because it does change. Well, it's not like it's their favorite always. Like I would always pick Lagavulin, but
Oh, sorry. I get what you mean now. Yeah.
so this was their favorite, and I was looking it up to see if I could find the video again because I figured I'd show a little piece of it or something. I can't find the video of it, so I don't know what year it was, if it was 22 or 23, their favorite. I think it was 23. But this is TX, Texas Bourbon Whiskey.
Wow, nice
So
color.
this
Do we want
one
to zoom in on
is-
this? Quickly?
yeah, let's get
Our
Let's
fancy
see.
new.
So this is TX, made in Texas.
Looks
It's
like
a
that T's
Texas bourbon.
going inside of the X there.
And I've seen this around for a while. Anybody want to look at the bottle?
Yeah.
Anything special? It
Uh,
looks pretty dark
Yeah, and it's a basic, it is a straight bourbon, so that is the color it is.
as
Uh,
opposed to gay.
and in fact, that's the other thing. I was going to pull it up. I had to wait till we,
That kind of fits into the movie
Yes.
too.
till we got past it, but
Firestone and Robertson Distilling. Okay, so 45% ABV, 90 proof. If you are Lon and you're trying to drink this, don't. It says that.
It's one of those weird bottles where it's like, looks just like a regular bottle, nothing necessarily that flash, but like I like the little like widened base to it.
Yeah, I like the feel of it. I mean,
yep.
The bottle feels nice in your hand.
Yeah, it's, you know.
Got some weight to it.
So did you want to pull it up? We'll pull it up.
Oh
here.
yeah. Let's see if we can get this
Yep.
one working. There you
This
go.
is all
Okay.
distilled, bottled, and aged in Fort Worth, Texas. So
There you go.
that's- Hence the
So
TX.
this one right here is a 90 proof, 45.
No
ABV.
cowboy boots included.
Yeah, right there.
It's all
No, I
Texan.
mean, you don't have to wear.
They call it fig, allspice, and brown sugar for palate notes. On the nose, floral, maple, cinnamon, pretty much all of them. are
Because
floral,
Texas is
maple,
known for its
cinnamon.
figs.
What?
Texas is known for its fig.
Oh, it's figs?
Figs.
Figs. I thought you said steaks originally. I'm like,
No.
yeah, it doesn't taste like steak though.
No,
I'm
you
pretty
said
sure.
fig.
Ooh,
It
have
is
they-
fig. They said
have
fig,
they not come out with a
allspice.
bourbon flavored
brown.
steak? That would be nice.
So,
sure they
smoked
have a
old-fashioned.
bourbon
I don't
rum.
know why I didn't bring that smoker. So, this was considered a favorite. You don't have to leave it up, I guess, but this was considered a favorite by Whiskey Tribe.
All right.
They both chose it the same year. They both chose it as their
So it's-
favorite of the year.
It
So,
seems like it's in
so
the
I vote.
our wheelhouse of 90 proof, so it's not going to be too spicy.
correct. It's your basic. It's a straightforward, straight bourbon whiskey. God.
Who cares
Okay.
about the
All
planet?
right. We ready? I did buy this like probably a year ago.
Oh,
That was a good one.
Nice pop.
That was a Texas pop.
Texas pop.
Smell
this,
it.
This
Smell
is
it.
Texas. Oh yeah, sure.
Okay.
Smells like a good bourbon. It smells a little fruitier than normal. It smells a little cherry.
So it's a fruity straight, is what you're saying.
It's
I don't have a lot of smell actually.
no.
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 Should not have bumped into it. Sorry.
So we're gonna get a little boogery taste
Yeah.
in the first pour.
You're like,
But this is, in my mind, I'm seeing this as it will be a traditional bourbon. Ooh, you got a heavy pour there. Sorry about that.
tell you what. All
Yeah,
right.
you definitely can smell a little bit more of the
Oh,
It's here for now.
it's pleasant.
get it in the screen there.
Yeah.
Doesn't smell potent, doesn't smell pungent.
No, I mean
No, it smells like a
it's-
straightforward
Yeah.
bourbon,
let's get
like
in
a
there.
real bourbon.
Yeah.
You guys go ahead and do your first tasting, and I'm gonna see if I can find the mash bill or anything on this one.
Yeah, I mean it's well, obviously won't talk too much before we rate it.
Well, they don't quite give a mash bill, but they do say that is a mix of a blend of corn, wheat, and barley.
Do they distinguish between like
They don't say
percentage-wise?
percentages. They do not say percentages on there. Maybe they do on here.
And it has yeast and water in it.
Oh, way to go, genius.
It says it right there.
It does say right there because that's what they all have. Okay. Straight
should
bourbon,
call her.
one of a kind, bourbon proof, blah, blah,
Yeast.
blah.
About
Dark
the
fruit,
yeast.
sweet spice. It does not give percentages, does not give mash bill notes on there, but that's fine.
I would say it's more corny.
It has a little bit of heat to it.
Yeah, it does have heat, but not
It's
not
only 94
any,
No, I mean, it's
nothing
like-
compared to what we had earlier. But
Okay,
Is everybody 3 sips in?
I'm 3 in.
I'm only 2 in, but I'm ready to rate it.
I am also only 2 in.
I'm going to do a single. More because of the fact that it's later in the evening and it's hard for me to work out
You don't want to fuck it up like I do
Come
and
on.
Ruben does.
Fuck it up like we
You
always
want to be
do.
the only one who doesn't fuck up his numbers.
I'm going to go for my 100% rating. Actually, it's not 100%. I've fucked up before.
60% of the time, he's right every time.
100% of the time.
Is everybody ready?
Yes.
I'm ready.
1,
2.
3. Ooh.
Wow.
I think we were all
3, 3. I gave it a 4.
So
Yeah.
Logan gives it a 3.
Warren
Well,
gave it a 3.
And Lon gave it a 4.
Nice.
I like this bourbon, kids.
I do too.
This is a very tasty, and maybe it's because we've had a lot of hot, disgusting bourbons earlier today.
Maybe.
It's nice to come back to a traditional bourbon.
That is
What it's funny for those who watched the other episodes, you saw that Logan went and grabbed a bottle of Russell's 10. This has a lot of the same kind of flavor notes to me. It's like
Little
I
more
think
burn.
this is much more robust
Really?
than Russell 10.
It's to
Russell
me,
10's just as mellow. They both have that nice sweet
but it has the
mellowness
same
to
kind
it.
of like heat to me.
Yeah, but that's
um,
I'm talking for flavor notes.
Yeah,
though.
yeah. No, I get you, but it's like this is very very pleasant.
I
Yeah.
love it a lot. I think it's I'm looking for it. Fig, allspice, brown sugar. I get all those. I get a little
Allspice
more
has
cherry.
allspice on it.
Yes, the deodorant one, not the perfume one. But it's well balanced. If this has actually got
So what price wise?
oh
That's going to play into why I gave it a 3 possible.
again, I did buy this over a year ago.
Okay, well I did really badly on the last one, so
I'm going to guess $52.
I'm gonna say 54.95.
Survey says. No, what's the move? What's
One more
price
time.
is right? I said, what did I say?
You said 52. I said 55 basically. And the
Uh-oh.
answer you're gonna say $21 again?
Yeah. Yes, I swear to God. Frank's Porter.
Okay.
You wanna pull it
Yeah,
up?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, he's pulling up. Pull out.
Okay,
Frank
so
Thomas. Baseball. What? Really?
wow.
Now that's a sale price.
Son of a bitch.
So
Okay,
really,
what's
35.
what's 35?
What's the $180 for?
That's for a
the
case.
Oh,
Case
I'm
of
like,
6.
Jesus Christ.
So not really a case.
So, honestly, then I would say run out and get this
Yeah,
for that price.
absolutely.
I would have given a little higher
Absolutely.
score if I'd known it was that
Yeah, I mean,
low of a price.
It's delicious. For
it's really good.
This is one of
It
those.
doesn't
that-
need to be mixed with anything either.
No, it could have been in our when we were doing the brackets for the $30 price range, 30
Yeah,
to
yeah.
40.
That's
This would have
crazy.
gone
This
far.
should have been in that $40, $30 to $40
Wow.
tax bracket.
Especially for
That's
Not
$29.
tax bracket.
Tax
price
bracket.
bracket.
I knew you
Price-
meant.
price bracket.
It is a close to tax season.
Yeah. But this is tasty. I will not say it's the
Or is
best
it the-
bourbon in the world
Is
that
it the
I've ever had.
TX that's what made you think taxes?
That's Texas taxes.
Yes.
Thank you for bailing
Yeah,
me out on that.
I agree. I mean, this is, what we often say is like, would you buy this for your bar? I would 100%. $30.
$30,
I mean, it's like I think this is really really good.
$35 normal.
I really wish we would have been able to divide it up though, to see like what
The
percentages
mash
things
bill.
were, just to be able to see. But
Yeah, maybe they say it on this, but I don't think they do.
that would be nice, just for the
Yeah.
sake of being able to say, hey, it's similar to a X. But either way, wow.
But it's funny. It's the little things. Like even this little bit of
Yeah,
feels
that's
like a little bit of leather up here.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a nice
Even
nice,
the cork, yeah,
nice little
right, the way the
touch.
cork goes and stuff. Yeah,
I mean, it feels
it's
quality.
and it's a straightforward bottle. There's nothing overly fancy
Right.
about it. It's
But I like the part at the bottom.
yeah, right, because
like-
it says
it's cool.
who distills it, the Firestone and Robertson
And it matches the top part.
Distillery. It's
But just a
it's
little bit thinner
classy.
at
Yeah.
the top.
Yeah.
Fatter at the bottom.
They've got some little symbol going on. I think that's the symbol of Lucifer. Not 100%.
Something like that.
on
Yeah. The Firestone, eh?
But
yeah.
yeah, even Benny's doesn't have the breakdown of percentages or anything.
'Cause I'm sure they just
I
copy
would
whatever
definitely
they release.
recommend this though.
I will say they've got the proof mark down here as 82, and according to this, it's actually 90.
Yes,
So
I would
We're a
believe
little
they
off on
just.
that.
Yeah, but that's a
distilled it.
different bottleneck there. I'm thinking
you're
on the
right.
wrong
So
one.
this
Yeah.
is a bit more basic bottle. Let me double
Yes,
check. Make
look
sure
at
that
this. We got a
wasn't the wrong
special
bottle.
one.
Texas straight bourbon.
Yep,
And is that what that is?
Texas straight. Oh, this is the whiskey.
Yeah, that's the blended.
Ooh,
Where's the whiskey?
see,
So
he's
wait,
looking at the
maybe-
wrong thing.
Hold on. So I don't
Juan
even see the
doesn't know how
bourbon,
to search on the
We
internet.
still have a chance of being correct on the price.
but
Yeah.
they don't have the bourbon listed.
Yeah.
Oh, then go to just type it in and see what the hell happens. if it's like $50, I'd be.
I'm going to say that we were correct.
I think so. We can make it up because there's nothing that's showing we're wrong.
According to, well, that's you can't go by some of these places because they're all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
But it does look like a basic price would be in the $40 range still. Some of them are 55, but that's not going to happen.
We were fucked.
Looks like
Absolutely.
42 to 51.
There you go.
Yeah.
42 to 51.
I think basically we won.
Yeah, we won.
And what did you say? You guys
I
said?
said 52. He
I
said
said
54.
55.
So you guys are still on the outside edge. It's still less expensive.
But way
We're
more than
edging it.
$30.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But either way, I mean, I'd still.
Well, see,
let's put it this way.
Here
I would
it's
still
for
try the.
35 still. Here it's for 37 still.
I would still try the whiskey though. Maybe that's we should do
Walmart,
that.
you can get it for 37.
We should maybe
Who
go to.
goes to Walmart?
These guys do.
Maybe we should do another episode where we have the whiskey.
Yes.
That's $29.99 just to see. That
We'll
might
see.
not be bad.
So anyway,
Walmart Superstore, $37.
right.
That exact bottle. $37.
I always go to Walmart for my liquor.
Is it Walmart in Amarillo, Texas?
Doesn't matter. There it is.
Walmart.
37.
All right.
Totally worth it.
Yep.
Goodbye.
Totally worth
Either
it.
way, even if it was $50, I still think it's worth it.
I think I shortchanged myself. Not 100%, but I might need to do this.
All right. So we also watched a movie, right?
We did watch a movie.
We did.
We watched Companion. Did we actually talk about the Companion before?
I've never talked about it.
We might have talked about, like, if we watched the trailer on it.
You guys talked about it because I didn't know what the hell you were talking about.
Well, there you go. So we didn't talk about it then. All right. So
You
let's
guys hang
talk
out
about
more
it.
than me, so
Let's talk about it. Do
Let's
we
talk
want to
about
talk
it.
about it? Or
Well, we got to rate it.
rate it first?
We got to
Let's
rate
rate.
it. But
Let's
did we
rate.
give the premise of it? We did. We
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, we did.
We did. So,
That seems like such a long time ago.
Right?
I know. It's because we were
Like,
in
how did
shock
we go
by
off the
how good this
rails?
Texas straight bourbon was.
we went so far off the
I
rails,
forgot
I
to
don't
push
know how.
the timer.
All right. So,
It's all right.
I gotta
has
get
everybody
better
got
than
their
this.
number? What you want to put on the trailer
Oh yeah.
while we're picking our numbers?
So this is our trailer. For those who haven't watched any of the recent episodes, we'll do the trailer. We'll come up with the numbers.
There have been two moments
And
in
while
my
you're
life when I
watching,
was happy.
Now this is the
Sophie-
very beginning of the film. if
Sophie
I'm not
Thatcher
mistaken.
walked through a
first was
road.
Studio that brought you the
Josh.
Notebook. I didn't know
I'm
that.
Josh.
It's so funny. It's
And
such a
the
random
second,
thing to link
Maybe
together.
they were doing
The
that
day I
on
killed
purpose.
him.
I think.
I love the black screen part. Oh, there we go.
Just
Yes.
relax. Remember to smile and act happy. Do they know?
I'm doing a single number for this.
I am doing a single number.
I'm doing a single.
I am glad I did not see this trailer. I will tell you that.
Iris, wait.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah, I am very glad I did not see this trailer.
What
It's-
are you
it-
Yeah,
doing?
because right there it
Shut
does
her
give
down.
away what's
What is
going
she
on.
talking
But I
about,
don't think it was a secret. I don't think it was meant to be.
Either way, that I'm glad I went into it.
This
Yeah,
was
it-
not
it's-
part of the plan. I didn't mean
Okay. Anyway, let's.
Yeah, we can
I
move
don't
on.
know that that's the ending.
Sex
when you
month?
see it.
Yeah, I am so glad I did not
That,
see
that,
this.
and it's so funny seeing these little clips, having them watch the movie. Like, this
The
actually
days
is
of
a
you
really good film.
controlling me are over.
Okay, we're back.
Yeah, switch
Yes.
back. What are you waiting for?
Come on, get our
Okay.
sexiness back
All right.
on there.
Are we all ready?
I'm
Somebody
ready.
Pick the number.
I got a single.
1.
2.
3.
Yeah, baby.
Oh!
Yeah,
Is
baby.
this the first time this has
I
happened?
think so.
I-
On the fours, at least.
If it's not the first time, it's pretty just. There's a very
Wow.
infrequent times that happens.
So all we have to say is all of us gave it a 4.
Yep.
We don't
Yes,
have to
yep.
actually
we all
go.
gave
Yep.
it a 4.
Everybody gave it a 4.
I didn't really know what I was getting into.
I did not.
Like, people who watched the review of The Gorge, this to me was the way I entered this movie was the same way. In other words, it's like I saw the trailer and somehow I must have seen it out of the corner of my eye because I remember the trailer, but all I remember is like I was like, okay, yeah, there's a murder in there, and it's like I remember the part where she's like all covered in blood and stuff. But like when I started watching, I'm like, yeah, it's kind of like it seems like a chick flick, and you know, just it's. I was blown away. Like Dove and I both watched this last night, and I thought it was friggin' awesome.
Had some twists and turns
Yeah.
and things that you didn't expect and
And
things
co-
that you did
and-
expect, but they did it uniquely.
And they did it they did it uniquely. They made it fun. Is one of the big things I noticed. Like I knew nothing going into this. I didn't watch a trailer. I just went in just because you guys. I even said, I'm like, which movie did we choose? And you said Companion, and so I had to even ask them, like, was it the 2021 version, or because the 2021 version seemed more down our alley. But the funny thing is after talking with you guys, I was watching. I use YouTube TV for my home watching things, and that came up as
English, man.
you know what I'm
English,
saying.
use it.
Fuck.
God damn.
You have access to Plex, you know.
No, but I'm just saying. So that came up as something to watch, and I was like, oh, because I was explaining to my wife, I'm like, oh, she said, well, what movies you watch? I'm like, oh, Companion, and I pointed at it because it was up on the screen. But and the funny thing was, I still did not put that together. Looking at her eyes, I did not.
Yeah.
Which I think helped because
But the main poster is her with the white
I get it, but
Right, but
honestly,
I
even if you saw it, it's you might be thinking, well, what does that mean? But this was fucking great. This was fun. This was a fun movie. It was entertaining. It kept you on the edge of your seat at some points. You think you know what's going on, but then you don't really. And then when you still think you know what's going on, you don't really. I had fun while watching this film, and the acting was great. Everybody, a lot of movies nowadays they kind of overdo certain things, and I felt like this didn't really do that. I think they did the right amount. They showed the right amount. They got graphic when they needed to. They pulled back and let you your brain kind of take over on certain things as well. Like the killing of Sergei. You don't know what really happened. Like
Right.
just the way they left things open. But then, the beginning even in and of itself, where she explains. I mean, the whole beginning of the movie is literally the explanation of the movie.
but you don't realize
You don't know that.
realize it until the
Yeah,
end.
because but it intrigues you enough to go, well, okay, now I need to know what the hell's going on, right? I was a fan.
I think so. The difference for me was that I did see the trailer. I did know what was going on going into it. I knew that she was an AI
Robot.
fabricated companion robot, whatever you want to call it.
Fuckbot.
Fuckbot, literally. So therefore, when they did those little quips where she comes in, she goes, "I'm just threatened by the concept of you."
Yes.
It's like, yeah, because she's a sex bot. And I was like, oh, wait, she doesn't know she's a sex bot.
Right.
Yeah.
And that part was kind of interesting. So they still, even knowing knowing what it was going into it, they still tricked me on certain parts.
See, I was the other way on that one. Like when
Really?
she said that, I was like, oh, she thinks she's like prim and proper. Like that's
See,
how I
'cause you
took it
didn't
because
get
I
it.
didn't know anything
Yeah,
about
see,
it. So.
but even knowing that, I thought it was still a good trick. Sorry, I touched my mic there. But just want to make sure I wasn't still on mute.
Yeah.
But there were other things in there that I thought still were unique twists that I didn't see coming, such as the gay couple. The guy was a robot.
Right.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, I didn't see that coming. And yet I did, because I'm like, all right, there's no way that guy would be with this guy.
Right.
Like,
Well,
no way.
and to be honest, I was the same way. Literally, up until the second that she was revealed as a robot.
Right.
I'm like, oh, clearly
That guy must
that
be
guy's
one
a
too.
robot as well. Yeah.
But he was sentient. He knew he was that companion robot.
Yes.
Yeah, he figured it out.
And the thing is, and I did kind of see it when he was telling his origin story of how they met, and it was this elaborate thing that they did a flashback to. I'm like, all right, they're giving this importance, so clearly that
Yes.
origin story has something to do with it, which is the same thing Sophie Thatcher had as her origin story. It was an elaborate, detailed, romanticized, picked off a menu.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
Loved it.
and it's so funny that you said that way. I mean, it's like there's so many parts of that movie that, again, that you look back on and you go, okay, so the open Sergei's safe,
Yeah.
and he has the gun,
Yep.
and there's a point that you obviously see that there's another box of bullets
Yep.
behind, because there's obviously a point later on where uh, the main guy, Quaid,
Josh.
Josh
was his name in the movie.
Yes,
But,
Josh, where he's like, he goes, oh, it's out of bullets.
Yep.
And she's like, no, I found the box.
yeah.
Yep.
It's like there's so many parts in movies where it's like they put these scenes in and you go, oh, well, clearly that's going to come back later on for something else. But like, I thought it was so, like, ultimately, I'm sure you could probably pick it apart and find that it really isn't as original as I'm about to say that it is. But I thought there was enough originality in it.
Yeah, it
But
was.
I felt like they teased you
but it
enough
was
with certain
fun.
things, like the whole voice thing and the whole eye color thing, and
Yeah,
how
that
she
was
was
so
able
funny.
to, like, yeah, and like I thought that was great that they did that.
Yeah, the
because,
intelligence was great.
yeah.
He goes,
And then
he
they
goes,
even
"Oh,
told
Josh."
you, right? They told you even the limitations of the intelligence, because then you'd be like, oh, well, she's a genius. Well, no, she's Ivy League. It's like they don't want to give them too much power, right? I thought that was this honestly should have been what Megan was to be honest.
Oh,
Right.
but the
Like,
difference is Megan's a child, and that
I get
therefore
it.
it was like she
This
was
could okay.
just
Then this could be Megan 2.0.
yeah, I guess when Megan
But I'm
grows up,
glad this
when
came out
robots grow
before
up.
actual Megan
Yeah,
2.0.
So the
Yeah.
only thing that I think they could have done a little bit better was put a little bit of explanation about the fact how Josh knew how to hack into her character.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because again, there's several parts in this that will not like I'm vaguely putting this on the level of the Sixth Sense, um, but there are several parts of this where it's like when you yeah when you go back on scenes that happen in this movie, like the part where she opens up her
Legs? Oh, sorry.
no, sorry. She opens up the suitcase and there's a thumb drive sitting on top
Right.
of
Yeah.
the
Right.
thing, and I'm like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
And then later, obviously, he obviously grabs the thumb drives and put it into his phone. And the very fact that that was a scene, I was like, so what's he doing? Downloading his photos or
Right, right,
something?
right.
It's like, I didn't
Clearly
quite.
I thought honestly the first thing I thought of, I'm like, is that a vape pen? Like,
Really?
yes, that
From
was the
his
first thing I thought of
phone?
because I didn't see like
No, like what was in
Before
the
he put it in
suitcase.
his phone. Okay.
yeah before
But
because they show her unpacking and they showed it and that's
Yeah.
when I was like, oh, and I'm like, what is that, like a vape pen or something? I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
get it. And
Yeah.
well, and again, so like from the trailer, like even when she found the knife in her pocket, I was like, oh, so I was still kind of confused with what that meant, but I'm like, that's kind of weird that she found a knife in her pocket. Like, oh, so maybe she's secretly a serial killer or
yes, I agree
something.
with you. That started making me think that she was faking being that guy, being
Yes,
her
100%.
his
Yep.
girlfriend so that she could get at Sergey.
Yes.
And that's where I was like, ooh, I like where this is. I started getting like that spy vibe, right? Like
Right.
she's going after him
But-
because he's supposedly a mafia.
Almost
type.
immediately after getting there, they have the scene by the pool where Sergei's being uncomfortably into her,
Yes.
and she's so uncomfortable by it, she wants to get away from him. So it's like,
I thought that was made up. I thought what she was doing was telling a story so that way then she could explain why there was blood all over. Like I didn't think that, she legitimately felt that
you know what?
way.
That's a
but-
good point, because actually, even I thought that at the first when she killed him. It was like, well, she's the hitman. Is she?
Well,
Is this
She's got to
obtaining
make it look good.
and
right?
the other thing I thought was funny was that again,
Yeah, good point.
the trailer was actually very well done because the clip from the trailer, you obviously see the part where she comes back into the house,
Yeah.
and like her entire
It's full of-
face and top of the body is just covered in blood,
Yeah.
but the rest of her isn't. And
Yeah.
and there was a point where I was like, how could that possibly happen?
Right.
But obviously they show you
Yep.
the fact that
Later on.
Because it was a weird death.
right. Well, the point is he was on top of her and
Yeah.
she stabbed him in the neck.
Right.
And so obviously that's why there was so much blood.
Right.
But it's like there was just so many parts I loved. I mean, it's like I love the when ultimately he gets Stuart, right? Was the other gay guy's character?
There was
Yes.
Eli and
Ted, Sergey. No, we said him.
Who's the gay guy?
Lucas Cage was or Gage, I think was the
Patrick.
guy. Patrick was the guy.
Yes.
Oh, there he is, Patrick. Yes.
Yeah. So like I love the part when Josh is kind of dialing in his like aggression.
Yep.
He's like,
Yeah,
fuck it.
fuck it. You just
Yeah,
cranked
just
it to 100.
like 100%.
That was awesome.
And and that kind of really came out when he killed Kim, the
Cat.
cat.
Yeah.
When he's like
She's
stop
stop
her.
her.
Yep.
And he stabbed her
And
and
he
goes,
killed her.
I
It's like,
stopped her.
There was a lot of thought in this. I think they did a good job, because the aggression thing, although this is just me being nitpicky, what I would have preferred is as he was swiping, as he got over like 70-80%, it should have turned like red
Yes.
or something. Just that would have been kind of funny
like
to
danger zone.
Yeah,
and
like,
that type stuff.
But my problem with that whole premise is that there was that setting. There should not be
Oh,
any
because he-
AI
he-
companion.
Right. What would
Right,
be the possible point?
Right,
of
of having
doing
their
that.
violence
what
be
did
that
what did
high.
what did Eli say? You modded your fuckbot? Or
No,
what
no,
did
no,
he,
no,
what did
no,
he call it?
but that is the point. So the normal version of what was on the screen was just simply the intelligence part. The
Modded version.
it was the modded version that gave him the aggression part.
See, because I thought it was even
Jailbroke.
there.
You
that
jailbroke your
could-
fuckbot. That's what he said.
But it would have been a jail. But but it like I thought the aggression, all that was there, but it should have gone up to like 5. Maybe then they show that the mod extends it to 12 or something
Yeah,
like
like
that.
you couldn't go.
Well, but in reality, if you were a UI designer,
It shouldn't have been
you'd still make
it
it
shouldn't have been a
100%.
thing.
Like 5% would be 100%.
Right.
Right.
It can't go above that.
Right.
Because that's the whole point. You don't want to make a robot that has the strength
Well, but
10
see, that's
times
just
10
aggression,
humans to
though.
kill somebody.
That wasn't strength. That was just aggression.
Yes.
So that's just him. Like you could have a female that's aggressive, but you could hold her back with one hand, right? Like I mean, if as long as her strength isn't.
But so the
But
other,
she's also got the intelligence to whip out a knife and do some ninja kung fu thing to you. And
but the
kill
other thing I thought was funny
you. Ninja kung
was
fu
the
thing.
was when what was her name?
You got to be more specific.
Iris.
Iris.
Sophie Thatcher. Iris,
yeah. So when Iris was escaping in the car, which again, to your point you said before, I love the part where she's like playing around with the voice
Yep.
until the car recognized her.
Yep.
I thought that was awesome. But
Yep.
so that when
That
the
was
car
very clever.
stopped and locked her inside, and the cop goes by, and he sees someone like kicking the window out, and so he correctly stops because he's
Yeah,
like,
'cause he's
why
a
she's
cop.
kicking. And the very fact that she suddenly started speaking in German
Because she has to tell the truth.
suddenly starts making him like be suddenly okay with the fact that here's this person that was like kicking their way out of a car.
And
Like,
now she's a helpless German.
right. But you would think that, you know, Josh was just at the end of the day a regular guy. So the fact that he has a car that has the ability to lock the doors to a point that someone has to kick their way out of the door, you would think that your average police person, even in the middle of nowhere, would know that that's probably a stolen car or something. But just it was funny the fact that the second that she became German, all of a sudden he was like his like police nature like disappeared.
Yeah.
And it
Because
was like, oh,
because
you're,
I felt
you're
like
now
it disappeared
foreign.
once she said
English.
Sergey. Once she said Sergey, that's when he kind of seemed to
Yes.
go, oh, you're, you know,
you came
Sergey.
from Sergey?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
But in that region, he was probably a paid off cop. Well, actually,
Yeah.
not even a paid off because what? Sergey wasn't even a drug dealer.
Right. At
Yeah,
the end of the day,
correct. He
What
was
was
just
he,
a sod farmer.
A
Sod
sod
farmer.
farmer.
yes. I thought that was so
He
funny.
did say he gets his hands dirty, which that I mean that's the thing is those little puns where you're just like, oh geez, like it makes sense, but
But
yeah.
they played that very cleverly.
Yeah.
The way that she had to get out of her situations when she
the
had
way
to tell
Josh
the truth.
had to get out of his
So
situation.
she had to, well, but even playing around with her voice to get the car to work, that was smart because she turned up her own intelligence.
Yep.
Well, and
So-
I loved her thinking through what to do next.
Yep.
And playing through what that would actually turn out to be.
Yeah.
But I thought that was really
Although
well
that
done.
was very upsetting that she left the vibrate on the phone.
Yes.
And then it still went off. I'm like, like I would have preferred like maybe she turned the phone volume down and then accidentally put it on vibrate or something like just so that but there was it's
Okay,
just being
so
nitpicky.
if I mean nitpicky as well, the other problem I had was the fact that Eli, and I apologize, but like to me, if I'm stereotyping, your average gay guy that dresses the way Eli
They
dresses,
prefer homosexual Americans, by the way. They're just
they probably haven't used a gun before. Certainly with not the. Yes, he didn't ultimately hit her. but
I
he-
thought his
but-
reaction made up for that though.
Really?
When he was like, "Oh, that's really loud," like you know, I'm like, "Oh, okay."
I get it, but like he was to me way more accurate than I thought your average person that's
True.
never pulled pulled a
True.
trigger
Could
before.
have been a lucky
Yeah.
shot.
Yeah.
I guess.
Lucky shot.
But like I thought that was weird. One thing I do like as a fan of Book of Love, the band, like Modigliani, the song that they played.
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah.
I love that was just randomly in there.
Yeah.
I thought
I
it was
do,
cool.
I do like when they pull up classics. But I think overall, this whole thing is a timely science sci-fi because
I thought it was great.
AI is big. You know, there's those what is it, live dolls or living dolls or
Living dolls.
living dolls are
Living
like
dolls? Is that what
ridiculous.
it's called,
Yeah,
living dolls?
basically, yeah.
Especially in
Living
Japan.
right, where you can buy an actual sex doll
Well, even the ones that are like really good, they're not sex dolls, but yet I'm sure that's coming.
Are they
Pun
like
intended.
robots though, or do they move?
Oh, they're
and stuff?
robots.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
there's a video I can send
But I
you.
thought they're like anatomically correct, though, right?
Well, that's the whole point.
I
You could still
don't
have
know.
sex
The one
with
that I saw looked like I wouldn't mind,
Yeah.
but but she was not. They specifically said like, no, it's not meant for that. But I would say within the
But the
next,
holes are there.
yeah, I wouldn't.
And
That's
all you need to
possible.
do is add a unit down there that vibrates and a unit up top
Yeah.
that pulsates, and you're good.
Yeah, if not.
But the whole point is that AI is taking over, and everybody's been talking about an AI companion,
Yep.
where robotics have been advanced to a certain point where it's feasible. You can have a robot now. AI is advanced to a point where you can have somebody who's independently thinking.
Yep.
So this seems like a next logical
Yeah,
step.
yeah.
You could have a companion that you can buy.
Yeah, I mean, it is actually kind of funny. Like when the companion got delivered, I thought that was, I loved the fact that it was so like kind of run of the mill.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like he
wasn't,
would,
yeah.
because
The
even
technician was really kind of basic. And
yeah,
technical.
just explaining that it's like, oh yeah, you're going to do this, then you're going to do this, and and obviously it was a fuck toy, and I know, like,
Yeah, because well, he immediately within them leaving within 20 minutes, he was already banging it, right?
yeah, well, as
The love link
as
happened.
would anyone.
Yes.
Like I think,
No, I think they did a really good job with that side of it, and I also think that was a very unique perspective of the whole love link side of like, oh hey, it was just a drop down, but they basically put your face on something, and
yes,
because that to me was like a really cool perspective of hey, you've got this is your story, right? And all he needs to know is this 5-10 minute story, and that's how everything began, right? Like, and uh, they, I think they did a really good job in tying things together and making it feel real, even though deep down inside it technically
well,
wasn't.
and I think it's kind of funny, like kind of back to a little bit more sci-fi. It's because that premise is the same premise as Blade Runner,
Mhm.
right? In other words,
Absolutely.
Replicate, yeah.
like the idea and the fact that the way you actually enable a robot to feel like they are real is you give them a backstory, you
Yeah.
give them history, you give
Yeah.
them a family, you give them all these
Injected
things,
memories.
like even though they're not real,
It's programming, like Josh
Mhm.
said in the movie.
right?
And that was just gotten to an advanced point in Blade Runner. So advanced you can't tell humans from robots.
Right.
Theoretical. You want to switch over to my computer because this I think is apt. This is 15 years old.
No, that's pretty spot on.
I mean,
I wouldn't.
that's all.
Yeah, that's
You know.
and that's the sad thing is there's all this technology, everything, people they can talk to you, they can do all this stuff, and that's gonna be probably what pushes it over the edge, I think, is once they get to that point. And I'm sure it's
Absolutely.
already there. It's just I don't think the animatronic side of it is just there just yet, but give it time.
Right,
Well,
but that's my point. It's on the cusp.
yes,
It's a few years away.
Yeah, and
probably more than a few years, but
I don't even know. I mean, depending on who wants to invest in it. If Elon suddenly goes, you know what, I'm not making Teslas, I'm making fuck bots. It's going to happen in
well,
the next 6 months.
he made a flamethrower, so
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
See?
yeah. I mean, I think it's like I mean, obviously it's a common thing. It's the reason why the internet took off was because of porn sites.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like
Right.
porn sites still represent like the number one. I think Google.
I never visit them.
I think Google is technically ahead of porn sites, but generally, other than Google,
Used head.
like porn sites are the number one thing.
But that's just the point, right? Can you fuck it? This is for 15
It's
years
hard to
old,
fight that.
and that.
Yes.
But it's the whole thing is if Elon Musk did switch to making fuckbots, he'd triple his income.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's where the money is. People don't
Yes.
want somebody to wash their dishes. They want somebody they can fuck without consequence.
And maybe wash the dishes afterwards.
And then
Yes.
maybe
Maybe
cook you
at
dinner
the
and
same
bring you a
time.
beer.
Same time.
Or like Eli said, hey, go fuck me and then make me an omelet, right?
Yep.
So
There you go. That's true. Okay.
I know. Either way, I would
Great
definitely
movie.
check it out if you get a
Great
chance.
movie, great bourbon. We're back
Pretty
on
good.
About an
track.
hour and 47 minutes, I believe, total time.
The movie?
Yes.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought you said this episode. I'm like, fuck.
I didn't think it was that long.
That was-
Jesus.
That's what we should do.
We
We
were so
should try to
good.
match an episode to like the length of the movie.
You know, we were good when we had the clock over there. We could see.
Yes. I have
And
to work
then
out how to get a
knew we
widget
were-
on that. I'm sure I can get a widget that is like larger on that.
Even just on the monitor up there. But anyway,
All
thanks
right,
for
folks.
coming, everybody.
Thank you,
We
everyone.
appreciate it. We'll do another episode soon, maybe a couple weeks.
Couple,
To
3
the-
or 4 weeks.
Bye-bye.
To the outro.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Follow us on social media.
Oh shit!
What did you do?
What happened?
Went down the wrong pipe.
Okay, let's just continue. Ignore him.
Everyone for joining us.
Like-
On another. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Like,
I would. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Hey, follow us on social media. Right here.
Want to do like 5 million takes?
Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Be sure to follow us on social media. What's the matter with that? What's the matter with that?
Feeling good about this.
What's wrong with that one?
Nothing was
Nothing.
wrong with it.
I don't know what the fuck you're doing for it.
I'm pointing to.
Pointing does nothing.
But
This is a
but
social
you
media.
see it on
talk.
different lines, and
yes,
so I'm like,
but do you
I'm
know where
pointing-
the lines actually
By
are?
the way, no one can see you because there's a big logo right here.
That's
I
the
know, they can
point.
hear me, though.
No,
We
they
did that on
can't.
purpose.
I'm Logan Lynch,
We're
over
gonna,
here.
we're gonna
Nobody listens.
cut that out.
Who the fuck is Logan Lynch? Who names
Best.
himself
That sounds like a made-up name to
Doesn't
me.
it though? Amen.